What is the greatest performance in the history of the Olympic Games? Some might nominate Nadia's perfect 10. The 14-year-old Romanian gymnast captivating the world with her performances in Montreal 1976. Others with a passion for history might vote for Jesse Owens and his 4 gold medal haul in Berlin 1936. Abebe Bikila won the 1960 Rome Marathon barefoot and entered Olympic folklore. Greg Louganis did the same when he cracked his head on the board in Seoul 1988. And was still brave enough to bounce back for gold. But for one single instant of outrageous brilliance, how's this guy? Usain Bolt's stunning arrival as a global superstar came in the 100 meters final in Beijing 2008. This image, perhaps the Jamaican's career in microcosm, projecting at once his dominance, his arrogance, and his sense of fun. If indeed his world record run of 9.69 seconds is the greatest Olympic performance of them all, then it's only fitting. Because on April 6, 1896, in the Panathinaikos Stadium in Athens, the very first event at the very first modern Olympics was a heat of the 100 meters dash. Back then, the fastest man on Earth was Boston law student Thomas Burke. That's him employing a revolutionary crouch at the start of the Olympic final, and when he won in a time of 12 seconds, every sprinter began to follow his style. Things moved quickly after that. 1920 Olympic champion Charlie Paddock lowered the world record to 10.4 and was the first real personality of the sprint. Jesse Owens opened world eyes to social justice in 1936 and only took 10.2 seconds to do it. The 100 meters took a giant step in the 1960s with electronic timing enabling a second decimal point. Bob Hayes ran 10.02 in Tokyo 1964, and in Mexico 1968, Jim Hines became the first man to officially break the 10-second barrier. Hines was electronically timed at 9.95 seconds. It would be 15 years before it was equaled by Calvin Smith, 19 years before it was temporarily broken by the disgraced drug cheat Ben Johnson, and 20 before Carl Lewis finally emerged from Seoul 1988 with the gold medal and the world record of 9.92 seconds. But Johnson's exposure was just the start of a dark era for the power sprinters. Suspicion fell on everyone. Suspension followed for a few, including Tim Montgomery and Justin Gatlin, who both set world records only to have them wiped from the books for drug infringements. As the reigning Olympic champion from Athens 2004, Gatlin's positive test was shattering for the Olympic movement. So when the 21-year-old gangly Jamaican Usain Bolt set a new world record of 9.72 in New York in May 2008, the athletics world was excited, but desperately hoping he was clean. The Games needed a good news story. Standing 6 foot 5 inches tall, Usain Bolt's elastic stride was a joy to behold. And as he progressed through a brilliant junior career with a name like Bolt, the Lightning nickname followed in a flash.
It's been great. I've had that nickname since I was probably 16 or so. I went to Bahamas one year and they named me Lightning Bolt, so that was great.
That young man might not have yet developed the media skills he would later employ, but as the world record holder, running 9.72 seconds for 100 meters at the Reebok Grand Prix in New York City in May 2008, he was the logical favorite for gold in Beijing 3 months later. Especially when his main danger, the reigning world champion American Tyson Gay, suffered a hamstring strain in the US Olympic selection trials. Although he made it to Beijing, Tyson's preparation had been impacted, and he was run out in the semi-finals. Despite Bolt's prodigious talent, though, some suggested he was a lazy trainer and that his habit of starting slowly could cost him dearly when it counted most. There were reasonable concerns that at 21, and still in his first season running the 100 in senior company, the Jamaican might melt under the intensity of the Olympic flame. And so to the Beijing National Stadium on August 15 and 16, Bolt's slow starts remain evident through the first two rounds and his semi-final. But he is still the fastest qualifier for a final which includes two other Jamaicans, two Americans, two from Trinidad and Tobago, and one from the former Dutch territory known as Netherlands Antilles. With lane 1 vacant, Bolt has drawn lane 4. On times, his biggest danger is his countryman Asafa Powell, third from the left in lane 7 in his yellow and green national colours. Powell is 25, winner of the 2006 Commonwealth Games, and already well on the way to the record he still holds today as the athlete who has broken the 10-second barrier most times. But he is already in his teammate's shadow, having held the 100 meters world record until Bolt's run in New York. And he has something else to prove, after admitting to failing under pressure when only third behind Tyson Gay in the 2007 World Championships. With Gay out of the final, the number 1 American in the field is Walter Dix in lane 6. Just 22 and in his first pro season, after a stellar college career netted him a then record deal with Nike for more than $4 million. And next to Dix is Richard Thompson from Trinidad and Tobago. Third fastest qualifier behind Bolt and Powell, Thompson is 23. Also straight out of college athletics and renowned for his quick starts. At the starter's gun, official timing to 1/1000th of a second records Bolt with the second slowest reaction time, with Thompson, Dix and Powell away best. But no sooner has the young favourite risen to his full height and full stride than he draws level. By mid-race, he's ahead, then further ahead, and further still. By now, he's showboating, and with the clock stopped at a world record 9.69 seconds, commentators are dumbstruck, wondering just what time he could have achieved had he gone flat out. As we zoom in, his dominance is even more stark. With 20 meters to go, he has already stopped pumping his arms, his body twisted to face the crowd. Compare that to the strain and pain on the face of Jamaican Michael Frater, who finished 6th. Or the resignation of American veteran Darvis Patton, who finished last. To Bolt's right, Thompson gets the silver medal just ahead of Dix, and out wide, the Netherlands Antilles sprinter Charandi Martina recovers from a slow start to finish 4th, just ahead of the again disappointing Asafa Powell. Dix and Martina would again have co-starring roles in the Usain Bolt show 4 days later in the 200 meters final. Martina finished 2nd and Dix 5th, as Bolt clocked 19.30 seconds in another astounding world record run. But when Martina and third place getter Wallace Spearman were disqualified for running out of their lane, Dix was elevated to his 2nd bronze of the Games. Dix looked a future star, but a managerial dispute and a string of injuries meant he never did fulfill his potential. Although he did chase Bolt home in the Jamaican's outstanding win in the 2011 World Titles.
But there's only one Usain Bolt.
Beijing was also the high point in 100 meters silver medalist Thompson's career. He made the 100 final again in London, but could finish only 7th. And in Rio, he was run out in the first round. At least in 2017, when Bolt's Jamaican relay team was disqualified from their world record win in Beijing 9 years earlier, Trinidad and Tobago was elevated to gold, so Thompson is now an Olympic champion. As for Asafa Powell, he is also a gold medalist, winning on Bolt's relay team in Rio. But as a former world record holder and having run a record 97 sub-10 seconds 100s, his failure to win an individual title at Olympic Games or World Championships must hurt. Finally, there's Bolt. To put his Olympic achievement into context, only Carl Lewis had won the 100 twice before him, and nobody had ever won the 200 twice. Bolt went on to win them both 3 times in a row. He is the only man to run world records in both the 100 and 200 in Olympic finals. He would twice better his 9.69 from Beijing, setting a new record of 9.58 in 2009 and clocking 9.63 seconds at London in 2012. But it was 2008 that will always be his defining performance. So dominant, so exciting, and so gloriously arrogant. The greatest 10 seconds in modern Olympic history.
Thanks for watching. For more great content on all the major stories in world sport, make sure you hit the subscribe button.